Have you ever wondered why, despite eating what doctors call healthy foods, your muscles seem to be getting weaker by the month? Why climbing stairs feels harder, why your grip isn't as strong, and why simple tasks that used to be effortless now leave you feeling drained? If you're over 60 and experiencing mysterious muscle weakness despite following nutritional advice, you're not alone. What I'm about to share with you might shock you, but it could also be the key to understanding why your body isn't responding the way you expected. 3 foods that are constantly recommended as healthy choices for seniors might actually be working against your muscles. These aren't junk foods or obvious culprits. These are foods sitting in your refrigerator right now, foods your doctor might have told you to eat more of, foods that appear in every healthy aging article you've ever read. But here's the truth that the food industry doesn't want you to know. Not all healthy foods are healthy for everyone, especially when it comes to preserving muscle mass after 60. Some of these so-called superfoods can actually accelerate muscle loss, interfere with protein absorption, and leave you weaker than when you started. Before we dive deep into this eye-opening information, I'd love to know where you're watching from today. Drop a comment below and tell me about your experience with muscle weakness. Have you noticed changes despite eating well? Your story might help someone else realize they're not alone in this struggle. Let me start by telling you about Eleanor, a 68-year-old retired nurse from Michigan. Eleanor was religious about her health. Every morning, she'd prepare what she believed was the perfect senior breakfast, a bowl of high-fiber cereal with skim milk, a glass of orange juice, and whole wheat toast. Her lunch always included a large salad with fat-free dressing, and dinner featured lean protein with steamed vegetables. On paper, Eleanor's diet looked flawless. Her doctor praised her choices. Her family admired her discipline. But Eleanor had a secret she was too embarrassed to share. She was getting weaker by the week. It started with small things. The pickle jar that used to open easily now required a struggle. Carrying groceries from the car became a 2-trip ordeal. Getting up from her favorite armchair required using her arms for leverage. By the time she came to see me, Eleanor was frustrated and scared. "I don't understand," she said, tears in her eyes. "I eat exactly what everyone tells me to eat. I follow every guideline. So why do I feel like I'm disappearing?" What Eleanor didn't know was that 3 of her daily healthy choices were systematically undermining her muscle mass. And she's not alone. Millions of seniors are unknowingly making the same mistakes, watching their strength slip away while believing they're doing everything right. The first culprit might surprise you because it's been positioned as the ultimate health food for decades. I'm talking about high-fiber breakfast cereals. Walk down any grocery aisle, and you'll see boxes covered with heart-healthy claims, senior-focused marketing, and recommendations from health organizations. But here's what they don't tell you. While fiber is important, too much fiber at the wrong time can seriously interfere with protein absorption. And protein absorption is absolutely critical for maintaining muscle mass as we age. Think about it this way. Your body is like a construction site, constantly rebuilding and repairing muscle tissue. Protein provides the building materials, but if those materials can't get to the construction site because they're blocked by a wall of fiber, the rebuilding process slows down or stops entirely. High-fiber cereals typically contain 10 to 15 grams of fiber per serving. When you eat this much fiber first thing in the morning, it creates a binding effect in your digestive system. The fiber molecules attach to proteins, vitamins, and minerals, essentially wrapping them up and carrying them out of your body before they can be absorbed. This is particularly problematic for seniors because our digestive systems are already less efficient at extracting nutrients from food. Add a fiber barrier and you're creating a perfect storm for malnutrition, even when you think you're eating well. But the problem goes deeper than just breakfast. Many seniors, following conventional wisdom, eat high-fiber foods throughout the day. Whole grain bread, high-fiber crackers, fiber supplements, fiber-enriched yogurt. Each serving adds to the cumulative effect, creating an environment where your body struggles to access the very nutrients it needs to maintain muscle mass. Research published in the Journal of Nutrition found that seniors who consumed more than 35 grams of fiber per day showed significantly lower levels of muscle-building amino acids in their bloodstream, even when their protein intake was adequate. In simple terms, they were eating the protein, but their bodies couldn't use it. Eleanor was eating nearly 45 grams of fiber daily, mostly from her morning cereal, whole grain products, and raw vegetables. Despite consuming adequate protein at lunch and dinner, her morning fiber bomb was blocking absorption for hours, creating a daily cycle of nutritional sabotage. The solution isn't to eliminate fiber entirely. Fiber has legitimate health benefits. The key is timing and moderation. Instead of starting your day with a fiber-heavy meal, begin with easily digestible protein. Save high-fiber foods for later in the day when they won't interfere with your body's morning muscle-building processes. Think eggs, cottage cheese or Greek yogurt for breakfast. These provide immediate access to muscle-building amino acids without the absorption barriers that come with high-fiber cereals. You can still enjoy fiber-rich foods, just not when your body is trying to rebuild from the overnight fasting period. Now let's talk about the second muscle-weakening culprit. And this one might make you angry because it's been specifically marketed to seniors as a health necessity. I'm talking about low-fat and fat-free dairy products. For decades, we've been told that fat is the enemy, especially as we age. Low-fat milk, fat-free yogurt, reduced-fat cheese. These products line the shelves with promises of heart health and weight management. But what they don't tell you is that removing fat from dairy products doesn't just remove calories. It removes critical components that your muscles need to function properly. Fat serves several crucial roles in muscle health that most people never hear about. First, dietary fat is essential for hormone production. Testosterone, growth hormone, and other anabolic hormones that build and maintain muscle mass require adequate fat intake to be produced in sufficient quantities. When you consistently choose fat-free options, you're depriving your body of the raw materials it needs to create these muscle-preserving hormones. But there's an even more immediate problem with fat-free dairy. The fat in dairy products serves as a delivery system for fat-soluble vitamins like vitamin D, vitamin K, and vitamin A. These vitamins play direct roles in muscle function and bone health. When you remove the fat, you also remove your body's ability to absorb these critical nutrients effectively. Let me share the story of Robert, a 71-year-old grandfather who switched to fat-free everything after his doctor warned him about cholesterol. For 3 years, Robert diligently chose fat-free milk, fat-free yogurt, and low-fat cheese. He followed every dietary guideline perfectly, but Robert started noticing troubling changes. His energy levels plummeted, simple tasks became exhausting. Blood tests revealed that despite drinking milk daily, his vitamin D levels were dangerously low. His testosterone had dropped to levels typically seen in men 20 years older. Most concerning, a DEXA scan showed significant muscle loss, even though he was eating what appeared to be a healthy diet. The problem was clear once we understood the science. Robert's fat-free choices were creating a cascade of nutritional deficiencies that directly impacted his muscle mass. Without adequate dietary fat, his body couldn't produce the hormones needed to maintain muscle. Without fat to help absorb vitamin D from his milk, his bones were weakening and his muscles were losing their ability to contract effectively. The research on this is compelling. A study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition followed seniors for 5 years, comparing those who consumed full-fat dairy with those who chose low-fat alternatives. The full-fat group maintained significantly more muscle mass and showed better overall strength markers. They also had fewer fractures and better balance scores. This doesn't mean you should gorge yourself on high-fat foods. It means choosing naturally occurring fats in their whole food forms. Whole milk instead of skim, full-fat Greek yogurt instead of fat-free versions, natural cheese instead of processed low-fat alternatives. Your muscles need fat to function properly. Your hormones need fat to be produced. Your vitamins need fat to be absorbed. When you eliminate fat in pursuit of health, you might actually be undermining the very thing you're trying to protect, your strength and independence. Robert made the switch back to full-fat dairy products, and within 6 months, his energy returned, his vitamin D levels normalized, and his muscle mass began to recover. The change wasn't dramatic or overnight, but it was steady and sustainable. The third muscle-weakening food might be the most shocking, because it's often considered the gold standard of healthy eating for seniors. I'm talking about large, raw vegetable salads eaten as complete meals. Now, before you think I'm completely against vegetables, let me be clear. Vegetables are important. They provide vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants that support overall health. The problem isn't vegetables themselves. The problem is when seniors replace complete balanced meals with nothing but raw vegetables, thinking they're making the healthiest choice possible. This trend has become increasingly common, especially among health-conscious seniors who want to increase their vegetable intake and manage their weight. They'll have a massive salad for lunch with lettuce, tomatoes, cucumbers, carrots, peppers, and fat-free dressing, believing they've created the perfect meal. But here's what they don't realize. A meal that's all vegetables and no substantial protein or fat leaves your muscles in a state of constant breakdown. While you're digesting all those raw vegetables, your body is actually breaking down muscle tissue to provide the amino acids it needs for basic functions. The process is called muscle protein catabolism, and it happens when your body doesn't receive adequate protein and energy from food. Your muscles become a source of fuel, literally shrinking to keep your other organs functioning. This is particularly dangerous for seniors because we're already fighting age-related muscle loss. Every meal that doesn't provide adequate protein accelerates this process. Let me tell you about Patricia, a 74-year-old woman who prided herself on eating clean. Patricia had read everything about nutrition for seniors and decided that large salads were the answer to healthy aging. Lunch was always a huge bowl of mixed greens with vegetables and fat-free dressing. She felt virtuous, satisfied, and confident in her choices. But Patricia started experiencing concerning symptoms. Her clothes became loose, not just around her waist, but everywhere. Her arms looked thinner. Her face appeared gaunt. She felt cold all the time and couldn't understand why simple activities left her exhausted. A body composition analysis revealed the truth. Patricia had lost 15 pounds of muscle mass in just 8 months. Despite feeling like she was eating plenty of food, her vegetable-only lunches were creating a daily period of muscle breakdown that her body couldn't recover from with just her dinner protein. The problem with raw vegetables goes beyond just the lack of protein. Raw vegetables require significant energy to digest, energy that comes from your existing muscle mass when the meal doesn't provide adequate fuel. Additionally, many raw vegetables contain compounds that can interfere with nutrient absorption when eaten in large quantities. For example, spinach and other leafy greens contain oxalates that can bind to calcium and iron, preventing absorption. Raw cruciferous vegetables like broccoli and cabbage contain goitrogens that can interfere with thyroid function when consumed in large amounts. While these effects are minimal when vegetables are part of a balanced meal, they become problematic when vegetables make up the entire meal. The solution isn't to avoid vegetables, it's to make sure they're part of complete meals that include adequate protein and healthy fats. Instead of a salad-only lunch, try a smaller salad alongside grilled chicken, salmon, or hard-boiled eggs. Add some avocado, nuts, or olive oil-based dressing to provide the fats needed for vitamin absorption. Think of vegetables as the supporting cast, not the star of your meal. They provide important nutrients and fiber, but they can't sustain your muscle mass on their own. Every meal should include a substantial protein source, some healthy fats, and yes, vegetables for their nutritional benefits. Patricia made this adjustment, adding protein and healthy fats to her meals while still enjoying plenty of vegetables. Within 4 months, she had regained most of her lost muscle mass and felt stronger than she had in years. Her energy returned, her clothes fit properly again, and she no longer felt cold all the time. Now you might be wondering, if these commonly recommended foods can undermine muscle health, what should you be eating instead? The answer is simpler than you might think, but it requires a shift in perspective about what constitutes healthy eating for seniors. The foundation of muscle-preserving nutrition for seniors isn't about restriction or elimination. It's about prioritization and timing. Your body has specific needs that change as you age, and your eating patterns should reflect these changes. First, prioritize protein at every meal, especially breakfast. Your body can only absorb and use about 25 to 30 grams of protein at a time, so spreading protein throughout the day is more effective than eating a large amount once. This means starting your day with eggs, cottage cheese, or Greek yogurt instead of high-fiber cereal. Second, don't fear natural fats. Choose whole-fat dairy products, include nuts and seeds in your diet, cook with olive oil, and enjoy avocados. These fats support hormone production, vitamin absorption, and provide sustained energy that prevents your body from breaking down muscle tissue. Third, eat vegetables as part of complete meals, not as meal replacements. Combine them with protein and healthy fats to create balanced nutrition that supports muscle maintenance rather than muscle breakdown. The timing of your meals also matters more than most people realize. Eating protein within 2 hours of waking up signals to your body that building and repair processes should begin. Having your largest meal earlier in the day, when your metabolism and digestive capacity are strongest, allows for better nutrient absorption. Consider the story of Frank, an 80-year-old former construction worker who was losing strength rapidly. Frank had switched to the healthy senior diet recommended by his doctor: high-fiber cereal for breakfast, a large salad for lunch, and a small dinner. He was following all the conventional wisdom, but getting weaker by the month. When Frank changed his approach to prioritize protein and include healthy fats at every meal, the transformation was remarkable. He started having eggs and whole milk for breakfast, added chicken or fish to his lunch salad with olive oil dressing, and enjoyed a substantial dinner with protein, vegetables, and healthy fats. Within 3 months, Frank's strength began returning. His grip strength improved, he could climb stairs without holding the railing, and his energy levels increased dramatically. The key wasn't eating more food, it was eating the right foods in the right combinations at the right times. This brings us to an important point that many seniors struggle with: the fear of eating too much or gaining weight. This fear often drives choices toward low-calorie, high-fiber, fat-free options that seem healthy but actually promote muscle loss. Here's the truth about weight and muscle mass in seniors. Maintaining your weight isn't as important as maintaining your muscle mass. A person who weighs the same but has lost muscle and gained fat is in a much worse position health-wise than someone who weighs slightly more but has maintained their muscle mass. Muscle tissue is metabolically active, meaning it burns calories even at rest. It also provides the strength and stability needed for independence. Fat tissue, especially visceral fat around organs, is metabolically inactive and associated with increased disease risk. This means that the scale isn't a good measure of health for seniors. Body composition matters more than total weight. You want to maintain or build muscle mass, even if that means the number on the scale doesn't go down or even goes up slightly. The foods I've discussed today, the high-fiber cereals, fat-free dairy, and vegetable-only meals, all promote muscle loss while potentially maintaining or even reducing weight. They create the illusion of healthy eating while actually undermining the very thing that keeps you strong and independent. Let me share one more story that illustrates this point perfectly. Maria, a 69-year-old grandmother, came to me frustrated because she had lost 20 pounds following a popular senior diet plan, but she felt weaker than ever. The weight loss had come primarily from muscle mass, leaving her with less strength and stability than when she started. We worked together to rebuild her muscle mass through proper nutrition, prioritizing protein and healthy fats, while reducing the excessive fiber and processed low-fat foods. Over 6 months, Maria gained back 10 pounds, but her strength increased dramatically. She could carry her grandchildren again, work in her garden without exhaustion, and climb stairs with confidence. The number on the scale wasn't as low as it had been, but Maria was healthier, stronger, and more capable than she had been in years. That's the difference between weight loss and muscle preservation. As we wrap up this important discussion, I want you to understand that changing your approach to eating doesn't have to be overwhelming or dramatic. Small, consistent changes in food choices and meal timing can have profound effects on your muscle health and overall vitality. Start by examining your breakfast routine. If you're currently eating high-fiber cereal, consider switching to eggs, cottage cheese, or full-fat Greek yogurt. Notice how you feel throughout the morning. Do you have more sustained energy? Do you feel less hungry before lunch? Next, look at your dairy choices. If you've been choosing fat-free options, try switching to full-fat versions for a few weeks. Pay attention to how your body responds. Many people notice improved energy, better sleep, and enhanced feelings of satiety. Finally, evaluate your vegetable intake. Are you using vegetables to replace complete meals, or are you including them as part of balanced nutrition? Make sure every meal contains substantial protein and healthy fats alongside your vegetables. Remember, Eleanor, whose story opened this discussion. After understanding how her food choices were undermining her muscle health, she made these simple changes. Her breakfast became 2 eggs with a slice of whole grain toast and butter. Her lunch salad included grilled chicken and olive oil dressing. Her snacks included nuts and full-fat yogurt instead of high-fiber crackers. Within 2 months, Eleanor noticed significant improvements. The pickle jar opened easily again. Carrying groceries became effortless. Getting up from her chair required no extra effort. Most importantly, Eleanor felt like herself again, strong and capable. Your muscles are not inevitably destined to weaken with age. Much of what we call normal aging is actually the result of nutritional choices that don't support muscle maintenance. By understanding which foods help and which foods hinder muscle health, you can take control of your strength and vitality. The 3 foods we discussed today, high-fiber breakfast cereals, fat-free dairy products, and vegetable-only meals, are commonly recommended but can systematically undermine muscle health in seniors. This doesn't make them inherently bad foods, but they may not be appropriate choices for maintaining muscle mass after 60. Your body has specific needs that change with age. Meeting these needs requires a different approach to nutrition than what worked in your younger years. Prioritizing protein, including healthy fats, and timing your meals appropriately can make the difference between thriving in your later years and struggling with weakness and fatigue. The choice is yours. You can continue following conventional wisdom and wonder why you're getting weaker despite eating healthy foods, or you can take control of your nutrition with the knowledge that your muscles need specific support to stay strong. If this information has been helpful to you, I'd love to hear about your experiences in the comments below. Have you noticed muscle weakness despite eating what you thought were healthy foods? What changes are you planning to make based on what you've learned today? Remember, small changes can lead to significant improvements in how you feel and function. Your muscles have been carrying you through life for decades. They deserve the right nutrition to keep carrying you with strength and confidence for years to come. The power to maintain and even build muscle mass in your senior years is in your hands, or more accurately, on your plate. Make choices that support your strength, and your body will respond with the vitality and independence you deserve.